Vénganse, vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy.
Ladies, gents, family, friends, new listeners, old listeners, welcome to another amazing episode on this frequency. I am Natalie.
I'm Ricky. We used to mention cats and dogs. Remember a long time ago?
We did.
You referred to everybody as something.
Kittens and cats.
Kittens and cats.
Oh, what happened to that?
I don't know. I just had that memory come back to me.
Welcome, kittens and cats, to another episode on this frequency. Happy Halloween Eve. Everyone's doing their thing this weekend. Everyone's going to Halloween parties, trunk or treats. All of the little babies look so cute in their outfits, especially mine, because he's gonna be Chewbacca.
He's perfect for that too.
He's so perfect. I have to send you some pictures because we already put him in the costume. And he put it on and he was so excited, which made me even more excited. Like, he touched the costume on him and he got all like giddy. It was so cute. It was super cute. And it just makes me more excited for all the holidays to come because this little person.
Wait, this is his second one though.
Yeah, but of course he was only, 4 months.
What was he? Oh, he was a little monkey.
He was a monkey, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's going to start to enjoy it now and it's going to be good stuff. Are you guys dressing up?
Yeah, so since DeLuca's going to be Chewbacca, Mike is going to be a Jedi, and then I'm going to be Rey. So we're all going to be, not Rey, our producer, but Rey, the girl from the Star Wars series. Mm-hmm. Is that a series?
I was going to say, my brother already talks like a Jedi.
Well, your brother was like, so it's funny that you say that because, so I was telling him, no, I don't think I really want to dress up. We're just going to have DeLuca do it. He goes, but I want to be a Jedi.
There it is.
And I was like, okay, chill. And then
there it is.
And look listen, inflation is a thing right now.
Oh my God.
Shit is fucking us. Hold on. Side note, why did it just cost me $20 to buy Del Taco today for just Mike and I? It was fucking, I was so pissed. Anyway, so we got the costumes, right? And I spent like more than $100 for both of our costumes. And I was like, you know what, Mike? I'm sorry, but we're going to wear these fucking costumes and I'm going to take this shit back on Amazon. I'm sorry. We are returning these motherfuckers because we're only going to wear them for 3 minutes, take a fucking picture, and then we're going to be done with it. And he goes, well, what if I want to be a Jedi next year? And I was like, you're really going to be a Jedi again next year? And he's like, well, I don't know, maybe. And then I was like, no, we're just going to return it. And then he goes, well, what if DeLuca wants to be a Jedi one day?
He was really believing it, huh?
He was in it. And I was like, look, I am not going to hold on to this costume for 30 years until he's big enough to wear this. We don't even know if he's going to want to be a Jedi. We don't even know if, the costumes are going to look like this in 30 years. And we're going to probably they're going to, I don't know, peel off or something by that time.
And what if in 30 years it's controversial?
Yeah,
whatever.
Exactly.
You dressed me up as a Chewbacca, Mama?
Right.
How so?
Yeah, blasphemy.
Exactly. You don't know what's coming.
Mean? So anyway, hey LA Amy, what's up, girl? Everyone on the chat, welcome in. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about Halloween this year and forever because now we have someone to look at to be excited about that.
You know what? It actually makes sense why my brother's excited about getting dressed up for Halloween. When we were kids, my grandmother, we used to go to Joann's, and you know how you could pick out your costume, not your costume, but you would buy the frame or the thing to design, to make the costume yourself.
Oh, the pattern. It was a package, right? That you get? Yeah.
So my brother and I would pick up our patterns, and then my mom would ship the patterns over to Mexico.
And she would make it?
And my grandmother's, I think it was Nati or someone, I don't remember who it was, would make the costumes per the pattern. And then we would always be so excited to get the Halloween costumes back.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, our costumes.
Like we're legit.
Oh my god.
Oh, I have
And
to see
original.
pictures of that. That is so sick.
Yeah, it was really exciting. So I can understand why Halloween was a very exciting time for us.
Yeah.
So now the real question: what is Ricky going to be for Halloween?
What you gonna be, girl?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a zombie.
Okay, titties out. And listen, I just asked this because we just saw the girl on Twitch with over 2,000 views. Her titties were out.
2,256 viewers. 2,256 viewers. And all she's doing is walking around with her titties hanging out.
Yeah.
There is a warning in the beginning that says, this is explicit adult content. I at least thought she would be saying something.
No.
No, she's just walking around. But the chat is on fire.
Yeah.
The chat is going on. Yeah. And
what are they actually talking about though? Like what are they? What's the context behind the chat?
Let me find it.
Because if she's not saying anything, then
Nothing.
What are they just like? Hey, nice pair. Like you took the twins out tonight.
Wait a minute. Whoever not a brand is, I
welcome.
have dressed up as Rosie the Riveter.
Who's Rosie the Riveter? Sorry, I'm today years old when I found out who Rosie the Riveter is.
That was actually one of my favorite, most comfortable costumes ever.
Really?
I'm there with you. I don't know who Rosie the Riveter is.
You guys know her image for sure.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm in.
So Rosie
She's
the Riveter,
one that's like this, dressed up as a pinup.
she's a
right?
cultural icon in the United States who represents the women who worked in factories and shipyards during World War II. Very iconic image.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of my favorite costumes.
That's like the simplest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Well, I got one of those full body shop suits.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't.
The coverall?
The coveralls.
There you go.
So it was just coveralls and then a red bandana, and I did my hair cute.
I love that. Well, that is such a simple and cool
And then you
costume.
just got to do like super red ass lipstick.
And then one year I was an airline stewardess, and I got one of those OG like hats or like the little. Oh man, I got down for Halloween. But I was the stewardess from like the 50s. Like so, I had like a pencil skirt. Oh,
That's cool. Okay, so you are. When was the last time you dressed up for Halloween?
The head nods that you're giving, like
I was the shit.
Yeah.
I was
the shit for
fuckers.
Halloween.
You guys can kiss my ass right now.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I loved it. I took it very serious.
That's awesome. I love that for you.
Yeah.
So no Halloween costumes this year?
I haven't thought. October has flown by.
It really has.
Is your job? Are you guys offering that to you?
I don't know how the job does Halloween.
But they haven't mentioned anything yet.
No, but I'm remembering on Modern Family, there's an episode where Mitch, he just started a new job.
Yeah.
And he hears everybody talking about, getting dressed up for Halloween and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I guess they do dress up, so I'm going to come dressed up. And he comes dressed up as Spider-Man, but nobody's dressed up.
No.
So he's trying to like have his husband come and bring him like another suit. Like, no one's dressed up. I'm not getting out of the car like this. That's like my worst fear. Like,
I would freak out. And it reminds me of, you guys have all watched Mean Girls, right? Classic scene. Lindsay Lohan walks in as like the dead bride or something like that. And everyone's dressed as like a slut.
Yes.
And it's just like your worst nightmare. You're not even dressed the part. I would be shitting myself.
that actually is is kind of a real thing. My one and only year at St. Lucy's High School,
Yeah.
you could only wear uniforms. So it was always, so there were certain days where that were designated where you could wear whatever. But Halloween was a big deal there.
Really?
And that's how they would go dressed up. Like,
Shut up. They'd
everything,
get out.
let it all hang out.
Really?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
You only get one chance.
Yeah, but it's all girls there.
Who are you dressing up
Who are you
for?
dressing for? But that was always kind of the question. And that always fascinated me too. It's like, I liked that you couldn't, everyone wore the same. You couldn't really tell you could tell by the shoes.
Yeah, like who? Like,
Shoes was the thing.
Because it's a personality thing, right? And you try to be different, but then you're all the same.
Oh, Not A Brand says, I showed up in costume in the 4th grade. That year I was the only one. In 4th grade? What? What kind of school did you go to? I feel like 4th graders still dress up.
Seriously.
Do they dress up now? Do 4th
it's
graders dress up
elementary.
now?
I think it depends on the school. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know the district that Samantha works for. They're not like doing anything.
Right.
But my kid's school district is. as a parent, I only get like, man, I like, because kids all like their own shit, right?
Yeah.
And my kids, obviously, you guys know, they got like their own creative fucking mind.
Yes, they do.
So they don't really go with the flow of everybody's shit.
Right.
Yep.
And I remember one year my son wanted to, like, he's like, Dad, I don't know what to be. But he also didn't want to go buy a costume. So he had like a little fake handyman belt and fake tools and like goggles.
Yeah.
He put a flannel on. Like he was just like a little construction worker.
Yeah.
And some kid like made fun of his costume. And he
There's
like,
always
so
some
ever
that's fun.
since then, he never really was like, I was like, man, fuck that kid.
But what grade was he? What grade was he in?
He was probably maybe like second grade.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn, that's
little.
young. Because fourth grade, actually, I feel like between like fourth and fifth grade, that is when things start to kind of change. That's kind of where
Like
you're
the attitude.
Like you're
the
older
attitudes,
now.
because that was in fourth grade. I mean, I was still believing in Santa Claus publicly. Like I was still telling everyone there's a fucking Santa Claus, and that's
Yeah.
when one of my good
I
friends,
think,
Danielle
I think
Pachowski, was
right
like,
now it's a
"Ain't
little
real."
bit different.
I think it's a whole hell of a lot different.
Because
now.
my son now wants, he's like, Dad, can we go get a purple shirt? Like I'm gonna dress up as this and that. And then he even bought himself like one of those Reaper coats. Like with the
the
hood.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah. And he like, I'm like, dude, you got options now, bro. Like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna dress up as? He goes, I don't know. Like, but I think it's a little bit different. I think like when you look at like the time,
Yeah.
right? Like I feel like we grew up a lot faster than we should have, right? Like we were not trying to be
More
as
than
kiddie.
this generation?
Yeah.
Oh,
fast and
hell
slow.
no.
No.
I think it's totally different.
Maturity wise, I think so, right? Like because these kids think they're being mature because they look a certain way, but they're not mentally mature. I don't believe that this generation is more mentally mature at their age than we were at that age.
I just think that this generation has access to way more information than we did.
But they're goofs.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the thing you still got to remember is even though they have access to that, the maturity, the mental maturity,
Yeah.
is it quite there yet?
Well, yeah, and then what access are you accessing? Because if you're accessing the wrong shit, then yeah, goof troop. Which I love that movie, by the way, Goof Troop.
No, but so then what? Are we dressing up?
The only thing I'm thinking about right now are the shoes that I sent you guys that Adidas is coming out with, the Simpsons, which by the way, I was gonna so Adidas has these like it's a 3-pair set.
Yes.
And each pair is completely different than one another, but they're all Simpsons related.
Yes.
And the other day I was on Hulu and I'm like, why is the Simpsons still on?
The Simpsons is as old as I am.
The
They are going to be
Simpsons-
they're 34 this year.
I'm like, this program, how do you keep coming up with content?
And it's just genius. It doesn't get
what's
stagnant. They're
what's
so
dope,
good.
Though, is
It's
how
insane.
Yeah.
If you look at it, like each shoe is actually like a monumental
Yeah.
like part of the show. Like the one that's like an entire fucking sky
Cloud?
and cloud. Like
Yeah.
the minute they start, like, and I like, mind you, I didn't grow up watching The Simpsons. Like
Yeah.
We did.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I did too.
oh yeah, we remember it. I don't watch cartoons, but
It's a shame.
Wait, I feel like The Simpsons were a very different type of cartoon than the normal animation we try to get you to watch.
They were because they're not a child's cartoon. It's for adults.
I mean, I've seen episodes
I
from
mean?
time to time, but
Yeah.
the way they came out with the shoe, like, because the first things you see at the beginning of the intro is the sky, and then
Classic.
the freaking couch. Once they all end up on the couch, and it's just, I was like, man, this is dope.
Yeah, super dope. And
So
I just,
who's getting what?
I'm for sure getting
you.
the blue ones and the ones that are the house theme.
So I am too.
Living room,
I don't
sorry.
care if I have to do Klarna, Afterpay. I do take
Same.
donations. Hey,
Same.
what's our on this freak? What buy me a coffee?
Buy me the shoes.
Buy me a sneaker.
Buy us a sneaker. I am obsessed. I really wish that I would have liked the yellow shoe, except the yellow shoe
it's
has.
not bad.
It's not bad at all. It's a cool sneaker, but it has, I wouldn't have wanted Homer peeking out of the
The bush?
shoe.
Oh.
I would have wanted, the bush, whatever it is. I would have wanted Lisa Simpson, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Or something
Oh,
else. But
can you imagine if they did one where
would've been
even if the
sick.
insole
Yeah.
had like Lisa on the sax.
Yeah, yes.
That would be dope.
Yes.
But it goes back to say I was so impressed with Adidas craftsmanship
it
on
was
the shoe.
amazing.
So impressed. Every little detail. I mean, it just blew my mind.
Right.
I was 100% impressed. But and then again, impressed even more that the fucking Simpsons still exist.
Yeah.
Like you really have to have a strong creative team to still be
Yes.
in the like. I feel like, what is the longest running show on television?
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons,
I'm
and
about to
then
Google
I
it.
think Grey's Anatomy is up there too.
Either that or Jeopardy.
Jeopardy. God, yeah, you're right. Jeopardy.
Because I'll bet money on this. It's gonna be The Simpsons, meaning that will still go on and on and on and on and on
Yeah.
for
It's just
sure.
It's such a classic. What does it say?
Oh, Sesame Street?
Oh, shut up. Wow.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it's The Simpsons. The Simpsons is considered not only one of the best cartoons ever, but one of the best television series ever, and is the longest running American sitcom and the longest running American scripted primetime television series. Damn.
Okay, so I just
Amazing.
added the link to the
Oh, to
Instagram
the
post
shoe?
that you showed us.
Oh, that's smart,
So
Ray.
if you guys want to take a look at them and
Take
then
a look at the
let us know
shoe.
which one that you would actually like. Because those are like really dope.
Yeah, those are sick. I can't wait. So we're gonna do a thorough review once we get them. We're gonna borrow Severe's sneaker
cam.
cam or shoe cam. Yeah.
We should also do a photo shoot so we can get inspired by the shoe,
I'm so
like in its
excited.
entirety, and see how we both interpret
Let
the
me
shoe.
reach out to some people. We'll get it done.
Wait, and then after the show, we're gonna go get Simpsons tattoos.
I'm down.
I'm fucking
Because
down.
you know who I would get? I would get the dog and the cat.
Yo,
You know
yeah,
what?
that'd be sick.
Ironically, I gotta find this picture. My mom has a picture because when I was like 4, I want to say, like 3 or 4, I was actually Bart Simpson.
No
Yeah.
way.
And it was funny because
yes.
like the picture, my hair was stuck. Like you know how the masks, they were like
You
those
would
plastic
have
ones?
good hair for that.
My hair was stuck to the way that, like when I took the mask off, my hair was like conformed to how his hair was.
Square.
I gotta ask my mom.
Look,
if I
Sam
can
is
find that.
down too. Fuck yeah, you see, we already got
She
a
could
whole
be
team
Lisa.
doing.
She could be Lisa.
What is
Yeah,
the name?
I'm in. We're all in.
Why doesn't it say the name of the cat and the dog on The Simpsons?
The dog is Santa's little helper, and then the cat is. Oh fuck! I don't know the name of the cat.
What is the name of the cat on The Simpsons? Yeah, who the fuck named Santa's little helper?
Yeah, Santa's little
Like-
helper.
Why isn't this an immediate answer? The Simpsons next cat. Oh, Snowball.
Snowball.
Dude, you know what would be fucking
That's what I would
dope?
get. I would get Santa's little
Get it.
helper and
Get it.
Snowball.
Man, I wanna have to figure this. I might have to actually talk to Vinny about this. I wonder if there's a way that we could animate you guys into Simpson characters.
Oh, I think there is.
That
There
would be fucking
is.
dope.
Okay,
Do like a-
November,
do-
we're coming for you. It's
Do like a
Simpsons
whole
season.
fucking episode in like Simpson characters.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh yes, I'm down.
Immediately, yes.
I
Y'all
don't
don't
know
even
how
know
we-
what's coming.
Because I mean, I remember The Simpsons when like television was a big deal back then.
Yeah.
When a special episode was gonna drop, like you waited all week for the release of this episode.
Right.
And there was like this build up for the release of this new episode with this special guest that they always managed to have. So it was such an experience to watch TV 1,000 years ago.
It really was. And even now, I totally recommend that you guys watch The Simpsons latest
Yeah.
season. Their Halloween episode this year is fucking sick.
You know what?
There's an anime scene or an anime like short film, short series or short episode. It's amazing. You guys are gonna love it.
You know what? I understand why I got the shoe on my Instagram.
Why?
Because I've been watching The Simpsons.
Oh, so it's like you're getting
That makes
free
sense.
will. Free will.
That's a whole other ballpark. Which
Do we have free will? Clearly, we don't. And especially now with technology, we're just getting fed all this fucking information. Like, oh, yeah, look at us buying these shoes. This is my free will. No! The phone gave it to us to want to buy it. We have no free will.
and then if we don't have the funds for it, There's
Klarna. And our dumbass is, okay, that's fine. I'll pay it off in a couple
free
years.
will.
So everything is in a program to make it feel like we have free will,
But we don't.
but we're just still biting on
don't.
everything they put out for us.
We don't have anything.
We're puppets.
We are.
Q, I'm your puppet.
I'm your puppet.
That's such a great song. But yeah, we originally wanted to talk about having free will. I saw an article that the New York Times had released on an author who I should have had ready to pull up. But he
It's
basically,
on the LA Times, right?
he does this whole entire thing on we don't really have free will. Like, we don't have free will. Everything that happens in our life happens, for a reason, as it's supposed to happen,
And
based on our
that-
traumas, based on our experiences, everything leading up to every single moment that happens in our lives.
Yeah,
Is that a world thing, or is that just like a United States thing?
So it's actually, there was another philosopher who existed before he did that had a very similar concept and idea about the whole freaking thing anyways.
So it's in the LA Times, Science and Medicine. Stanford scientist, after decades of study, concludes we don't have free will. After studying humans and other primates for 40 years, Stanford neurobiologist Robert Sapolsky has concluded that many factors beyond our control influence our choices and behaviors, leaving free will to be negligible in any context.
So he even talks about like serial killers, like people that do harm, like all of that. He's saying it all leads up to that moment that you're about to do good or bad.
Yeah.
It's all related.
Yeah. When I read that, I had such a hard time because at first, initially, when you sent the article over, I was like, no, we don't have free will. And then when the writer here mentions, well, yeah, even the murderers and the shooters and this, that, the other, they don't have free will and it's not their fault that they're doing this. And then I was kind of like, fuck.
Well, you could even look at it, because some of these people, like when you look at how they go about shit, like there's artifacts that they're looking at that kind of like lead them in that direction.
Yeah.
Right? Like whether you're taught by something through media or like someone in your family, like in the Jeffrey Dahmer movie, like his dad is the one that taught him how to
taxidermy.
Yeah, like he taught him how to do all that.
Yeah.
And that was just off of like educational purposes, and that just ended up sparking like the interest and went all the way, So
Yeah.
But that's actually a great example of it, though. Like, that's what this kid was around. That's
Right.
what he saw. That's what he experienced. And then whatever angst and buildup and trauma he had on all of that created this person, this thing. And he explains it in the book, right? How just because he's making that statement doesn't mean that this goes consequence free.
Yeah,
Right.
it doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make
Right.
it okay. And he goes on to explain that, you can't just make statements like this, like, oh, free will. No, there are consequences for everything. And we do have to deal with these people differently. The manner in which we're dealing with it is not effective at all whatsoever and not designed to be effective.
Right.
But I thought it was really interesting and also kind of liberating in the same way, right? Because we always talk about our path and what our path is.
Yeah.
And if you believe that you have your path, right? And if you believe that you don't really have free will, like you're already designed to go in the way that you need to go to get to where you got to go.
Yeah.
Even when you start straying from your path, then what are we worried about?
You know what's crazy is that
Yeah.
that question of free will, and I don't like shoot me for this, but I didn't read the article only
Shooting
because
after this. See, I have no free will.
only because I wanted to hear like your guys' perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know what, like, is this a part of the ploy too? Like, let me tell you that you don't have free will. This is me like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could go deep, right? Because even like if you look at it on an economical standpoint too, we don't in California, at least, there probably isn't a free will in the sense of people trying to buy houses or like, you know what I mean? It's just like everything.
It's not up to us.
It's really not like we don't get like everyday people
Yeah.
don't get to make the decisions that would be beneficial unless we make the decisions they want us to make.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so many avenues that you could go down
Yeah.
with the topic of free will, right? Like you could talk about economics, you could talk about again personal choices,
Nature, nurture.
I mean, even
Humans are so complex.
even down to like the school system, like,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
and how like the direction that a lot of the schools are going in now, and trying to involve like the different types of like sexual education that's way different from what it, like I think even when we were in high school, or I mean elementary and middle school, like even that part of sexual education is like, I don't even think that's necessary. Like that's something for your parent to address. You know what I
Except
mean?
if you don't have a parent that's gonna
tell you
anything
Yeah.
about it. That
like
actually
the Latino culture.
that actually reminds
that I
me
grew up
who sent the interview with Jada and Jay Shetty? Was it you or you?
I
Might
think
have been Ray.
Right.
Was it me?
So I listened to it,
me.
and there's a part in there that talks about Jada's grandmother and how she got pregnant at a very early age, like at a very early age, and it wasn't because, and Jada says this, it wasn't because she was raped or sexually abused. It's because she did not know about sex, about what happens if you. She had no clue what she was completely ignorant to.
She went through like the natural process of
Yeah.
the feeling and the emotion and then the act of everything. Like it was consensual. It wasn't.
Right.
Okay.
But she didn't know any better. Like that was it. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You can't
it'd
know
be-
what you can't know.
It would be great if the parents talk to you about it.
So
but
so would you guys, in reading that article, would you say that they're like the topic, or not the topic, but like just free will in general is, I feel like at some point, like, because you still have to make a choice, right? And that's part of your free will, is to make the choice.
right, but that's what he's saying, is that when you make that choice, the choice that you make is made up of your entire existence as a human being.
Your experience.
Your experience, everything leading up to that moment that you make that choice.
Or lack of, right?
It's or lack of. It's that. It's that you don't really have any control over it. You're naturally making these choices because
It's instinctual.
it's instinctual. It's a part of who you are, and it just happens.
Yeah.
So if you look at it from, and again, okay, cool. If you were raised to be a moral person, a good person, a respectful person, a person that communicates, that's a great thing. It works out. You know, you're not harming anybody in the decisions that you're going to make.
in that, it's not free will, because you're going based off of what you've been
Right,
taught. Yeah.
right. And so
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. Like how you're taught, how you're raised, your experiences, all of that. And a lot of that, what choice did you have in any of that?
Right.
You didn't we didn't choose to be here, right? We were brought here by parents. Like we
Yeah.
were conceived. We didn't have a choice with that, right?
Yeah.
As a baby and an infant and a toddler,
Right.
you don't have a say with what you experience.
Yeah. What
This
if I
is
didn't
the
want to
cards,
live in
like-
the IE?
Yeah. This was the hand that you were dealt. Like that's it. So
Yeah.
you just
just do.
at what point do you think you have a choice with something, right? Oh, I'm gonna, I want to live here and I want to do this and blah, because I want to do this. I choose to do this.
Yeah,
Bitch, no, you can only economically afford to do this because you came from here and your parents made this and you only had
You were only exposed to these things, and this is what you know, and this is what you're gonna do.
and it's not being negative, and it's not
No,
saying
it
that you
just
can't
is.
that you can't achieve anything, because guess what, when you do achieve these greater things that you want to, guess what, it's already been in you. It's been a part of you. That was
Right.
You were destined to go that way.
Right. Because of all of everything that you know and your ancestors and what you've been taught and how you've been raised.
So then,
Oh, actually, this is a great point. Not a brand. It's the casualty we're controlled by chemicals on our brain, and our brain's response to outside stimuli. Yes, that's the other thing, right? What we're and I'm not even sure if this is where you were going with this, but this is another point of reference, is that the environment that we're in, that's what influences us.
See,
Yeah.
and-
Whether
and-
you like it or not, like that's just
and that's what I was gonna say, because it's like,
yes.
that's why they tell you to be like, to surround yourself with people that are better than you, because you're not like, if you're in a group of people and you're the best person in that group,
Yeah.
there's nothing motivating you to go further,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you surround yourself with a group of people that are better than you in whatever realm that you want to be in, that, like, it's a natural competitive Yeah. That we develop, right? Where it's just like, oh damn, I can't be the weakest one in this group.
Right.
So I have to like naturally
level up a little bit.
Like and going to what like Ricky's saying, like you got to it's who you surround yourself with, right? Because you don't want to be surrounded with people that tell you that you're not gonna do shit.
You don't want no clowns in your life.
You know, like, and there's people that don't even say it, but you could tell by their actions or their mannerisms. It's just like, I can't be around this person.
Yeah.
And yes, not a brand. Everything that you're saying, free will doesn't mean freedom to do anything. It means conscious choices that can supersede influence. That's 100%. Like it's and so if and when we accept that to be the truth, right?
Yeah.
It's me being the controlling person that I am, like, oh, I gotta have things like this and I gotta do this. Right. It's like, what am I worried about?
Well, see,
I'm already like this.
What am I worried about?
But I feel like you still can, right? So like this, like maybe the concept of free will is a game, and you have to kind of approach it that way. Obviously, like there's certain games you're never gonna fucking win, but as long as you figure out a way to maneuver within that game, you could still.
Because we think we're in control.
Wait.
Yeah.
And
not a brand is on point.
Here. Yes. This is what this not a brand says. It's way. Hold on, I'm distracted. I want to know who not a brand is because this
not
is
a brand. Who are you?
Yes, not a brand. Who are you? It's way scarier than that. This is what not a brand says. We don't control the chemicals in our brain. Those chemicals completely control us. That means when we think we're making a choice, it's just a chemical reaction that we don't control.
Yeah.
That's true. This sounds like my Uncle Oscar.
Like a fart.
See, and to his next point, it would mean these thoughts aren't yours. These are the products of chemical reactions we don't control. Hence your Uncle Oscar's thoughts.
I swear, is it Uncle Oscar? Is this you? Wait, which goes back. There's a thing that I saw on Instagram that had what's the scientist guy? It's not Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Girl, no, I don't know.
I don't know nothing about science.
I just know Bill Nye, and then right now that only came up because you brought it up. But what did the scientist say?
He was trying to say how, like, we human beings are the universe. Like, what is the universe made out of? Atoms and matter or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're made up of. Like, we are the universe, but we are just a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Like, we're nothing.
Just say it. Yeah. Nothing matters.
Yeah. So why are we worried about anything?
Energy.
Why? Yes, energy.
LA Amy says energy.
So does that mean like the way we look at our phones, right? Because we're like, man, everything could be heard through our phone. Like that's science showing us in the physical form how our brain works.
Yeah.
Like all this AI stuff is that's really what if you think about it, it's kind of like exposing to us, and we're scared of it because we're not really like right now we're intrigued by what Not a Brand is saying, but in actuality, if you kind of think about like the whole AI situation, that's kind of a physical form of what our brain processing is.
And it's so smart that it even tells you it even thinks these motherfuckers are gonna think that they have free will, so we're gonna gonna put a little button here to say, oh, you don't want advertisements catered to you? You could just turn it off. Here's the button. And so we turn, because I know I do that. No, I don't want any tracking. I don't want any advertisements. I don't want any location.
I don't bother with any of that because they're still gonna do it. They're lying to you, and it's you lying to yourself.
Away.
But listen, back to non-name brand. He says, I keep saying he. We don't even know if it's a he. The minute you talk about thoughts and choice, you're already a step removed from the reality of what's happening inside your brain. We still experience it, whatever it is. That experience means something to me, if nothing else. AI is just data mining algorithms that recompile the date for queries. It's not intelligent. So
neither are humans. We're not that intelligent either.
Listen, with all the shit that's going on, I'm convinced now that we will never see aliens.
No, we're
never.
not.
Aliens are not gonna bother to come step foot on this trash ass planet.
No,
with trash ass people. And again, it goes back to cool. This is it. Like, what are we worried about?
Yeah, they're gonna hover over and look at us like.
They'll stop by. Like, what's going on here? Bye.
They're just laughing.
Yeah,
they're like, they can get nothing from us.
No.
They can, and I don't care all of this compassion. Oh, human beings are compassionate and love.
No, our water's contaminated. Our food is shit. We're all nasty human beings.
Specifically in the United States.
Yes. You know what I mean? We're polluted. There's toxins in the air. Who would want to come see us?
You know what? Severe and I a couple weeks ago he was the motivational the keynote speaker to a group of high school students.
Cool.
And yeah, it was actually really cool. And I got to do his opening and I wrote like a little speech. It was great.
Awesome.
But here's the thing. Right before that happened, the gentleman that was presenting to the kids was 100% talking about AI.
Okay.
And saying like, sign up for our program and, we'll teach you about AI, how to use AI for your education and for your careers, like just like everything. And I looked over to Severe, like, AI is going to take over you being a DJ. Yeah. No one's going to hire you anymore. We started cracking up.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And yeah, embrace it. Get in front of it. Use it however you can.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still have my reservations.
That free will?
None of it is.
We just both put our sleeves up at the same time.
That's synchronization.
Was that like, did you do it and I do it at the same time because you were going to do it? Did we get hot at the same time?
Yes.
Was that a
Okay. And so thank you, not a brand. Things suck, but we also have good things, all humans.
Yeah.
Maybe all just chemical reaction. It is all just chemical reaction. Okay, cool. One day we have a good day because our chemicals are, they have a good cocktail that day.
Yeah.
The
L.A.
cocktail
Amy
was
said
good.
nothing can substitute for human connection, and that really is it.
Yeah.
No, don't touch her. Don't touch.
You know what?
You triggered her. You triggered her eyes. Her eyes are. They got red and her ears started fuming.
No, listen. That is important. I read an article this week that talked about like having adult children. Like, when's the last time that you like hugged or snuggled with your adult child or held their hand or did things like that? And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
It gets further and further away as they grow up.
It really does. And it's rough. But yes, human connection, it's really all we have.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's why every time I get home, I just grab Samantha's butt. Like,
Which goes back to, right, we're chemicals, right?
like I just gotta real quick.
We have these instincts and these needs.
And these energies that connect with other energies. That's how you want to think. You end up with the people that you're around, or you end up with the person that you're with because some part of your makeup, some part of the
it's your instinct
connects with somebody else's that might not initially make sense, but it just does. I don't know.
That's true because it's like
Amy's telling Samantha that she's such a giver. Thank you, Samantha, for your butt. Thank you for your butt. Your butt does great things for us all.
You go, girl. Get him.
I get home. We could be mad at each other too. Like we have an argument. I get home and she'll be asleep. I check on her glasses because she always fucking falls asleep with her glasses on.
That's painful.
So I go in, check, make sure her phone's not on. Take her glasses off, and then I grab a butt cheek, and I'm out.
Acts of service.
Yes.
With the little physical touch.
Yeah.
That's Ray's combo. Wait,
Physical
actually,
touch.
is that Samantha's love language?
Samantha's gifts.
Acts of well, that was neither.
Gifts
And acts of services. Mine's is quality time and words of affirmation.
Look at that.
So I just need her to be like, yeah, right there. And I'm straight.
We're all good. Oh my God, you guys are
Plot
funny.
twist, not 8brand, says not everyone. He doesn't think that generalizing what human connection is makes a lot of sense in light of divergent thinking. I read another article that talked about how lonely human beings are now. Human beings that don't have connections with other human beings.
Yeah.
Human beings that don't have relationships or not in or have any kind of dialogue with another human being outside of like a work conversation or it, like that's actually becoming a legit
Like a pandemic.
Yes, that it was really really bad.
That's scary.
It is
because
scary.
It's like, dude, like I have clients
Epidemic?
that I'm like, yo, so like, have you gone back to the office yet?
Yeah.
No, it's like fucking 4 years later. I'm like,
Yeah.
they have never seen anybody that
That's
they've
me.
worked with. Like, I mean, luckily you have a podcast. You could
Luckily,
come interact.
here I'd probably fall apart.
With us fucking nerds over
Yeah,
here, you know?
yeah,
We're not the
for real.
coolest that you people you want to hang out with, but
I'll take it.
bro, man, you guys, if the chat knew the kind of weird ass conversations we have,
Seriously.
this is probably as like decent as it gets on the podcast. We save it for all day.
Yeah. Well, Naughty Brand makes a good point, though. What about monks who lived in solitude and reflected on the meaning of life? Don't have written great books on philosophy and theology.
Good point, right? Like
Because some monks will go and
complete solitude.
and not only solitude, but also what is it? They do like where they don't speak.
Where they don't. Oh, yes.
But they work like in balance.
Okay, but
Right,
let me ask this. So, are you gonna take? You have 2 books you can buy, that are supposed to help you improve relationships with people, right? Are you gonna read the book from the monk that was in solitude and was in silent solitude and didn't interact with people and didn't do any of that stuff? Are you gonna buy his book, or are you gonna buy the book of like
Jada.
True.
nonverbal? That's what it was.
Oh, there you go.
Or I'm trying. Don't ask me why I thought of Dr. Phil as the complete opposite to a monk, but I just think Dr. Phil, right? Like all the people that he's talked to, that he's worked with, you know, all kinds of different people, right?
His education is surveyed, in a sense, right? Like the knowledge that he retains is based off of like surveying the people
Correct.
he's with.
Versus not, right? So which book do you grab?
Both.
Yeah, and then I guess it just depends on the phase of the life that you're in.
Yeah,
know
because
what I mean? Like, what are you
me
looking
personally,
for?
I would say like it all has to be balanced, right? Like it's cool to look at the concept of free will in a scientific sense, right? And which is, again, I didn't read the article, so in that article, is that kind of like the basis? Like, is his information and everything that he's given, is that based off of scientific
All of
proof?
it.
Yeah.
All of
Okay,
it.
so
There's research done.
I would like to read another article based off of a humanity version of it.
Well, it is.
Of free will.
It's he has studies with specific people, and I think it's over like 25 years of observing people and watching or learning their stories. It is, and that's why when people initially start to counter like what he's saying, he'll go back to what, citing his sources and his study, and you know.
Yeah.
So, like what Naughty Brand says, is balance works different for everyone. Some need constant integration. Some need plenty of space, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, it all differs per person, right? Like going back to the love languages, like
Yeah.
Ricky doesn't like us touching her, so so it's like you still you have to find your balance.
Yeah.
Which is why they
Yeah.
say like there is no singular concept of balance for everyone.
No.
Which goes back to kind of what we were saying earlier about being influenced from outside sources, right? If you go on Instagram and you see all of these things about live a balanced life, live a healthy life, well, what is it, right? And then you're seeing different examples of how people live a certain way. It's not necessarily applicable to you, to the point, right? Like how, but you're influenced by that. But maybe this is it, and this is how it is.
Because your mind is telling you, oh, that's how I need to fix it. Because it's probably stuff you're not even doing yourself.
Yeah.
Right, so you're like, oh well, then that's what I need to do. But it's just like, all right, well, you're also not a stay-at-home mom with everything like pretty much at your disposal to be able to do these things, or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, you're probably a working mom with a working husband, and you guys don't have the type of time to be able to do the things that this infomercial is telling you. So, again, it all. You have to find your balance. You have to find your space, and it's gonna like Natalie mentioned earlier. It's gonna change.
It will. It should.
Depending on your positioning in life, right? Like you're not like today. You're gonna be in this type of space, as opposed to where you were today 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like everything's different. Like you're not the same Ricky today as you were last year.
I'm not gonna be the same Ricky tomorrow morning.
Right.
I'm gonna be a different. Like it's constant, right? So Nani Breton says it's important to understand the importance of connection for you and what that means for others. So here's the thing too. Sometimes I really question my anxiety because it's, man, all over the place, ins, out, all that stuff. And I think that as you're trying to figure your shit out,
Yeah.
I think the anxieties that you feel are the barometer of your choices. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to try this exercise routine or this diet, and you still feel this full anxiety, listen to your body. It's not it.
Yeah.
Next, you know what I mean? Like, move
I like
on.
that. Yeah. You have a great point in that.
I thought about that the other day. And so when I look at some of the choices that I've recently made, and I'm like, why am I still not okay with this? Why does this still not
You're
sit
listening
well?
to your gut, right?
Yes, right?
Cool.
Well, and again, and it goes back to, you still had to go down that path. You still had to go experience these things. You still had to modify it. But at least I know now, I understand my anxiety, right?
Yeah.
I understand that, all right, cool. This isn't it. So be patient with yourself. Get ready to, like go to the next move or whatever. I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was like, it's because if the energies aren't right for you, you want to like go someplace else.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, wait a minute. Do you think then that I can't do long-term things? Because if I don't like the energy, then I want to run away from things. So like, I'm not capable of being in uncomfortable spaces, or I'm not capable of being in, where the energy,
It's
like
adversity.
a certain discomfort.
Yeah,
that you
like
got.
I'm not. Yeah, like, are you saying I can't do that? And so I'm like, hello, I was married for 13 years in an environment like that.
But
and
maybe
then, watch. And then I worked for 17 years in a place like that. Like, I know how to do that. And so they were like, well, maybe you don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that's the trigger.
Yes.
So that
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't
Good
think about
point.
that. Yeah, I hadn't thought that maybe like my whole body's like, no,
Stop it.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
But
Abort.
Yeah, abort. But reconciling that.
Yeah.
But then too,
Making that shift of like, whoop, let me read.
and then there's actually like analyzing the situations, right? Because sometimes our fear of going back to what we were used to, coming back to like control in a sense, we don't know whether to hold on to it or not to hold on to it, when like for what it's worth, right? Like maybe that aspect of Ricky that was able to hold on to something for 17 years or 20 years,
Yeah.
like that part of you is still good. That part of you can still do it. You just got to figure out what it is that you're okay with doing that with, as opposed to, and that's probably where the anxiety's coming from, because now you're just like, nope, it's not that. Nope, it's not that.
Yeah.
And at that same point, you're just like, fuck, what is it? Like, what is it gonna be? How is it gonna happen? Where's my spot? Where's my space? And you don't even know. But it's probably because like you don't want it, but you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
You want the constant, you want the security, you want the comfort, and it makes sense. Like if you don't want the discomfort, but now is because of what your knowledge from the past, you understand. Like fuck it, I don't need to be in this situation anymore.
Yeah.
I don't.
And it's making peace with, or like just trying to
I don't need to
figure that shit
subject
out.
myself to it. I don't need to keep doing this same fucking pattern,
And
because
that's the beautiful thing about human nature, is just like you're in the shit and you're like, ooh, this isn't it. Let me try something else. Let me keep moving. Maybe this direction. Maybe this is what it is. I don't
that's
wanna
that's the silver lining for a lot of things, though, then, right? Too, like
silver lining.
I think, like especially going to anxiety, like it's not always that we get the chance to tell ourselves when we're having those like anxiety like moments where it's just like, look at the silver lining, bro. You know, like you're gonna be okay.
Well, Nani Brandt brings up an interesting point that having good instincts is different than using unhealthy trauma responses and understanding the difference. Hell yeah, that can be hard. You're over here thinking like, oh, this is my instinct. No, bitch, you're running because you're scared right now.
You're confusing the two.
But we only know what we know.
That's a good point, though.
Connie Coco, welcome. First time chat member.
Connie Coco. Oh, I like that name.
Connie Coco loves me. Love you too, Connie Coco.
Yes.
Hey.
And our friends 80 and 3MD are in here.
Hey. The Twitch chat. You guys are amazing.
Yes. Yes. Joining the anxiety here.
So what's our
Our take?
what's our take on free will then? Because at the same time you You do, but you don't. I feel like
Yeah.
because we're
It's
talking
both.
because you're talking about like right now, like I guess there is no free will. Now that I'm thinking about it, only because now we're
There's
looking.
not, yeah.
We're looking at
Yeah.
like again how your conversation with your friend was like, hey, you're using your past to control what you're going through now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that's totally like influenced it, but it goes back to I've said it 1,000 times on this show. One of my favorite Jorge Drexler songs where he says, "I don't worry about a thing because nothing's gonna be all right." What are we worried about? What are we worried about? Everything is gonna lay out the way it needs to lay out. We're over here really thinking that we're in control of all of this.
Yeah.
We
Is it that
really believe that.
I guess we're really fighting. What are we? Yeah. What are we really fighting?
We're fighting the belief
against
that
our
we
will.
are in control.
Yeah.
We're fighting the belief, like, fuck, if you just let go, you might live a happier life.
Yeah.
Some might call it OCD.
But
Yeah.
but that's all a part of who you are. What did you see when you were little? What
see.
chemical reactions went on in little Ray's head when he wasn't watching cartoons?
Can I share so that like kind of to end this and then how the world works and just kind of the proof is in the pudding. Is that the saying? So I wanted to share this with you guys off the record, but now that we're on the record and I want to be more open and vulnerable and like excited and want good things for myself because I'm worthy. And so I'm telling myself all these things, right? But anyway, before all of that, so I wanted to share this that happened to me about a week ago now. And so, but I'll start like this. So growing up, my mom and my family and everyone was always heavily like they loved plants, right? My mom has a big garden. She has
a beautiful
lot of indoor house plants. And growing up, I fucking hated it. I couldn't stand it because every weekend my mom would wake me up at the crack of dawn. All right, a limpiar. You gotta get cleaning. And so one of the things that she would make me do is clean the water stains from the tables, from watering the plant. And it was just awful. And then there's dirt everywhere and just water stains and old leaves or whatever. And so she would make me clean them up and I hated it. And so to the point where one day I said, Mom, when I have my own house, I'm not going to have anything in my house because I don't want to clean all of this shit.
Really?
Yeah, I was hardcore like against plants, against any kind of decor because it just was a lot, right? Well, because she would make me clean it. And so, you know, then I start growing up and being independent, having my own place, this, that, the other. And now I love having houseplants at my house and I love like caring for them and looking after them. And it's a whole thing. But I think to myself, oh, you know, this is something that, you know, I saw my mom. So it's definitely not free will, right? Because I had an influence. I had somebody that I was watching, even though I quote unquote hated it. But here I am taking a turn.
Became a part of who you are.
Exactly. And to the point where we fast forward and Mike and I get married, whatever, we move into our now apartment. And in our apartment community, there's these like living homework studio, whatever they're called.
Storefronts.
So they have storefronts. And ever since we moved in, I had no idea that these things existed or that these were available for, you know, regular Joes like me. Right. And so.
Wait, what's the opposite of a regular Joe?
Oh, I don't know. People like, so because I just think like only people like with McDonald's money can have storefronts. You know what I mean? Like that's the mentality, right? You don't know what like you don't know.
Somebody with a business plan is what she's saying.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. Somebody with a business plan can only have this business storefront.
Michael Mota can write you a business plan. That's why I know a guy.
We're working on it.
I know a guy.
All right. So here I am thinking like, oh, I could never have one of these things. I don't have a business plan. And so whatever, I go on with my life, right? And so little by little, I'm like, oh, I can have one of these. And, you know, you keep walking by and you see what people do at these storefronts. And we have a nail, like currently, right? We have a nail lady. We have a tax barber. Person. We have a tax person, an estate planner. We have an academy person that teaches basketball. We have all these small business owners in our apartment community that have storefronts. And so for the last 3 years, I've been like, I want one of these. How do I get one of these? I've been writing emails. I've been talking to the tenants or the people that run the community, whatever. And every time that I have inquired, no, well, you have to get on the email list. No, not even a wait list, an email list from the apartment website, which I've done, and I could never get on this wait list because it doesn't exist. Okay, it doesn't exist. So finally, about 3 weeks ago, I saw that one of the storefronts was vacant. So I was like, this is my fucking opportunity. I'm going to email these people. Hey, suite 2105 or whatever is available. Can I apply? How do I get in there? Oh, I'm sorry, Natalie. Unfortunately, this one's already leased. But it's empty, you fuckers. Like, what do you mean? Like, how do I get in this? And so for a while, like for this whole week, I was like, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way. They're going to reach out to me. It's going to become available. Something's going to happen and I'm going to get this suite. And so I didn't. They wouldn't respond to me. They left me on red. And I was like, okay, this isn't for me. And this had been happening for the last 3 years, right? Where they just were giving me the runaround. And so finally I got an email back a week later, and the girl tells me, hey, well, you know what? That apartment that you were looking for is no longer available. But this morning, we just got notice that apartment 2104 is going to be moving out. So if you want to apply, you can have it you can apply within 24 hours. We'll have the application up, blah, 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 blah. So I am like so excited and nervous.
Please tell me you got it already.
I got the apartment. I'm so excited. We have the storefront. Yes.
Primavera color.
Primavera color.
Wait.
Lemon. Yes. So
You know who called this though, right?
who called it?
Because I remember the text messages.
Because I have no free will.
You don't have free will. I mean, thank your mom. Thank
Right.
your mom. But I
Right.
specifically remember a conversation between you, Ray, and myself in a
Yes.
text where Ray
Yes.
said,
Ray planted the seed.
he
Yes.
even went as far as saying, there's a place on 4th Street
Yeah.
there that they sold like it was like a flower shop and they sold plants and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember
Yes, you
that was when no, I can't say that's what planted the seed. Your mom planted the seed. Everything planted the seed.
It was little things that were just
Led up
to it, really, because I do remember the conversation with Ray and Ray saying there's no reason why you couldn't have a plant store, some setup somewhere here in the Inland Empire where you can do your thing. And so that definitely stuck with me.
Are there? I mean, besides like I'm trying to think like where do I go to get plants? I either
most
go to Home
places
Depot
are
or
nurseries.
that place.
Yes.
Plant Safari.
I love Plant Safari.
But
So beautiful.
outside of that,
That's it.
I don't know of any place else. Dude, I was going to Boyle Heights to buy plants.
Well,
Yes,
I was-
before
with you
the
one time.
pandemic. Yes.
My parents live in Bloomington, and I only said this because like in Bloomington, everything's fucking ranchero out there.
Yep.
Right? But there's like at least from a certain point to all the way to my mom's house, there's at least 3 or 4 nurseries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's places like that, like, and it's kind of like you have to know those people.
For sure.
But given like, there's kind of like a popularity with plants right now though too.
Yeah, there
right?
really is.
There's people like acknowledging the fact that like certain plants help with certain things, like natural remedies
Hell yeah.
and shit like that are starting to be more prevalent for people, and people are understanding this shit.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned it to you. I was like, look, if this place is in this part of Ontario and it's still open, besides it being a trap spot, I can't imagine how else it's doing good business, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a good inventory, and and this is based off of where you could right now keep your inventory.
Yes.
So if you
yes.
were able to, like, I'm sure you've done your homework and you would know like the climate control and everything that you would have to do within your storefront to
Right.
keep these plants
healthy.
then there's no reason for that to not be possible for you to do.
Right.
And given where you reside, that area has a lot of foot traffic.
Yes.
It's a very commercial
Yes.
area.
Yes.
When do you move in?
January 15th. So
We're gonna do your opening party.
yes, thank you in
Rose City
advance.
Sound.
You have no idea. I have
Grand opening.
I have so many ideas going through I can't sleep anymore because I'm like, I'm gonna do this.
But
I'm gonna do that.
so you know, it goes on both sides of you and my brother, right? So you have that experience with your mom, but did you know that my parents owned a plant shop?
Yes. So last weekend we were hanging out with your mom, and your brother just found this out too. So we found
didn't
out
know?
He didn't know.
Yeah.
He's all, did you know that my mom used to have a plant shop? I was like, shut the front
Full-blown
door. We're
plant shop.
hiring her right away. She's gonna help us out. She has experience.
Actually,
it's on her
you should.
resume.
She would love that.
I knew she would, and so so she told us, and I was shocked. First of all, that she had it, and then that your brother didn't. That we found out at the same time, but that's really cool.
The only way that I
Really
knew
cool.
is because there's a picture of me on next to like a phone, and there's a bunch of plants around me, and I was like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we used to have a plant shop," and I was like, "Shut the front door."
So at the moment when your mom had told us, I connected the dots. I remember that you had mentioned that your mom would get shipped plants from wherever,
all the roses
over.
from all over the world.
And so then I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
She knew where to ship from.
So you see, there is no free will. It all just happens.
Yeah, we're supposed to be connected to who we're supposed to be connected to and have the relationships and experiences.
Oh, hot dog.
Well, more to come. You guys have a wonderful Halloween weekend.
Halloweenies.
Be safe. Keep your baby safe. Ricky, you be safe. I know you want to go with that girl to Halloween Horror Nights on Twitch. Girl.
Hey, well, if we could get 2,000. Can you imagine her checks from Twitch?
That girl.
Can you imagine her checks from Twitch?
And not wearing more clothes? I don't know.
She's saving, right?
She's saving. She's not cold. No, you know what? More power to her, because I couldn't do something like that. But, whatever.
She's just walking.
She's just walking.
She's not even opening her mouth.
Listen, I'm gonna...
She might be.
Yeah.
That's when she gets the biddies.
She might
Subscription.
Listen, we're going to need a creative director here on this frequency with our Twitch. Get us these 2,000 watchers, viewers,
crazy.
listeners, whatever. Anyways, yeah, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a good night. Stay safe. Keep the kids safe. Get them out there, though, to have fun, because it's a wonderful time of the year, and it's Christmas. Today's episode was produced live by Raymond Andrew at Rose City Sound Studio with your hosts, myself, Natalie, and Ricky Limota. For inquiries, topic suggestions, and sponsorships, please email us at onthisfrequency@gmail.com. On This Frequency is available where all podcasts can be streamed. Watch a live stream recording every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch at twitch.tv/onthisfrequency. If you missed our live stream, you can watch past episodes on YouTube. You can also check the show notes for the video link to this episode. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a beat. Want more to support? Whoa, my goodness. Want more ways to support your favorite podcasters? You can always support the On This Frequency team by buying us some coffee, or you can buy us the shoes. Yes, we are taking donations for Adidas collab with The Simpsons, and that would be at buymeacoffee.com/On This Frequency. We love you guys, and we love it when you can support us. If this podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to us if you followed and if you subscribe to this podcast on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Give us a 5-star rating, subscribe, review. What is it on Twitch? You do the biddies
Follow,
thing.
subscribe.
Yeah, all of it. Share
Get
your
your
favorite
alerts.
episode. Yes, notifications are important. Share your favorite episode with a friend, and we would be eternally grateful to continue to grow with you. Keep in touch with us on Instagram. Our handle is at On This Frequency. Good night, y'all. Increase the peace.
We do take shots, 3MD.
Vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy. Vamos a fumar.